Today we're going to make a way to save your screen positions for your different windows that move around. First thing we'll start with is the server DOM. We're going to make some fields. Okay, we're going to start here. We're going to make 5 fields. B window position X. It'll be the X location of our window. It's going to be an integer type. We're going to have win position Y. This will also be an integer type. Size, for those that can resize. This will also be integer. Size at Y also. And a toggle to show whether the window is on or off. And that will be a Boolean type. Next we will copy these 5 using the copy to client button. We'll copy all 5 of them to the client side. Next we'll make our class. It will be B window info, and this will be the info for each window. We will then, before adding our fields, we're going to copy it to the client side. Then we will add our fields to it. We're going to add all 5 that we made, the 2 positions, the 2 sizes, and the toggle. Next we'll open up the client DOM. And our field will be already there. Our class, B window info. And then we'll just add those 5 fields to the class on the client side. Next we'll make another field. This one is called B window info. It's how everything is saved. It will be a special type. This is going to be a lookup list indexed by string of class B window info. So it's going to be a class for the information. We're going to have a bunch of them, a lookup list, and it's going to be indexed by a string value. So we'll be able to save each one under a certain name. For example, chat window or status window. We will then copy that to the server. Next, we will open a class and look for player character, BE player character. We're going to add our B window info to our E player character. This will save the character when it's logged off. Then we'll go to the server DOM again. And our win info was copied from the client side. And on the classes, we will look for player. And we will add our B win info to our class on the server side. Next, we'll open the script. This will be a server side E player character. We're going to add a function called save window info. It's going to be an untrusted function. It will have inputs of win as a string and WinIn as a class bWinInfo. We'll have the account as a player account, as system remote client, char as a class of player character, equals account get my char, and then we're going to save it by calling char bWinInfo sub win. That would be inside brackets, and that will equal our WinIn class. So it's going to save the whole class at position win, whatever our string is. Okay, then we will compile and save. Next we'll open a client-side script, miscellaneous utils, and here we're going to add get char pointer, which is going to point to your character so you don't have to always type these lines in. Count as a node ref called class ePlayer count, get my ID. Public function, and if account does not equal none, this could be written as two of the less than right greater than, or as a not equal. Could be done either way, whichever you prefer. Char as a node ref of ePlayer character equals count get my character. Sometimes on the client side, character won't be fully in yet. The account might be not loaded, so it won't be able to get char. In that case, it will return a none. In that case, it will have a null pointer telling you the character's not quite loaded. On the server side, the character's always there, and we can always count on these two. Okay, then compile and submit those. Okay, next we're going to open a script char status bar, and we're going to add the save functions to that script. Down here I like to call window loc section, and this will be when the mouse drags, and the args will be an input. We're going to have target as a GUI control will equal the args source root parent. Root parent says the parent of this whole part, which is the status bar. Now, if the target does not equal none, we'll be able to work with it. We're going to set the name as a string equal to the status window, and this will be where we save our value in the name part. Char is get miscellaneous utils, char pointer. That's a quick way to write that out to get our character. Then with the char, we're going to get the window info using that name and set our bWin position X. That's going to come from a target position X, which is our current drag feature, the window we're dragging around. The round will turn your float value into an integer that we're saving. We'll also do the same for our Y position, and then we'll call our server function, the player character class methods. Save that window info. We'll send in our name up here, status win, and our char bInfo with that name offset will be our class. Next, we have a function called, or method called setWindowLocation. This will have the char coming in as a player character. It will also have the name as a string. We're going to set the window location. If the window does not have a base window as their parent, the base window is our b_ window, and it will have its own set window loc, which is what this one does. Now here we're going to check for any saved values. It says if char binfo subname position X is 0, and if the same for the Y position equals 0, then it knows we didn't set it yet. So it's kind of the base offset. We'll get our screen as a vector, viewport size. It's going to create it in the upper left, so we're going to have char win info name position X, so we're going to set it to 0, and our win info Y is going to be 20. It's going to be underneath that experience bar that's currently there. Now to set the position, we're going to say me position, since it's a method. The me is talking about the status bar itself. Position X is equal to the win info using the name at position X. Position Y is going to be the char win position name at the position Y. Next, above in our update char, where we get our char in as a player character, we're going to call that set window. We're going to add variable. This might be here win as get char class. We're going to add win set window loc. We're going to send in our value char, and the name is a status window. That will be the same name that's used here for our name. And that will save our values each time it's dragged around the screen. We then can compile and submit that one. Next, we'll open our base window function, B window class. And here we're going to add a remote. We're going to add this one here first. If the window does not have a B window for a parent, this is where we're going to, it's going to have its own script or its own function. If not, it's going to call this one here, the base window. It's going to be very similar to the other one. We're going to have our char, get char pointer from miscellaneous utils script. And if the char is not empty, we're going to get our values, win X and win Y. We're going to see if it's 0. If it is, we're going to set a new section, and this is going to be in the middle of the screen with our position X, position Y. It's going to round our screen values minus the X of the window size, put it in the middle, and the same with the Y, put it in the middle. Then it will set the values of that window. And this works when the character is made. If it's not made, it's not going to set that window yet. Okay, our next one will be the remote function, load window locs. And this will be info as a lookup list indexed by string of class when B window info. This is the info coming in from the server, and we're going to get the character through using the char pointer, and we're going to say char B win info equals our info. And with that, we're going to start up the chat window. The start that's going to be called here instead of the account. Then we will compile and submit this script. Next, we're going to have the server-side player character again. We're going to add the trusted function get player info. As we made our load window locs, we'll now be able to add this part. Count is an ID, system remote client. Then we have our account as a player account equals account. And then our char as a player character equals account get my char. Those are pretty much basics in all these small save functions. Now we can call our window locations using the client. Call client account, B window class methods, load window locs, because this is now saved in our B window class. And we will send in value of char B win info. So we'll just pass in the value that we were passed up here. This creates a list, and this sends the whole list. Okay, we can then compile and submit this script, and Next, we're going to open up the client-side player count class methods. Here, we're going to add a function at the bottom, call server, player character class methods, get player info. And when we build our GUIs, we're going to call the info from the server, which will open the windows and send us our data and set up our window locations once the replication node as the player has been added. We'll also comment out the chat window. It won't be called here, it'll be called after we get our server info coming back. Then we can compile and submit this script. Next, we'll open the chat window here. We'll add in our method or the window loc on mouse drag. Target is node ref GUI controls through parent. It's pretty much identical to the other one in the B status bar. So we copy paste it. We're going to change one thing. It's going to be the chat window value right here. Then in our start function, we're going to comment out our get viewport and set the window and the location. We're going to call window, set the GUI location, chat when there's will be our value coming in. So if we right click on this, it will show you it's coming from the base window class. We can then compile and submit the script. Okay, in our base window class, this is where we want to add our chat window start if you haven't already. Then we compile and submit once we add it. Okay, next we're going to add in our client side on the exit window. We're going to make a small change there. We're going to comment out the toggle mobs and add in our minimap class for the option that it's going to happen. Then we'll compile and submit the script. And in our minimap script, we're going to add save window functions. We'll set up location. Here we're going to copy from our status bar the on mouse drag function and the set window loc over to our B minimap class. Add in the mouse function and set window. Now the difference here will be the minimap for our name, and on the other one we're just going to set a location. It might be the we're going to set the middle of screen functions for the base function, base location. Then in the start function, we're going to add win, set my window loc, and using minimap. Now, use this one method here from its own script. Okay, we'll move these around and bring up the minimap. We'll set them in a new location and we'll log out. They should appear in the same location when we log back in. The toggle is off on the minimap, but it appears here. Our chat window appears there. And that's our save window functions.